Hi, Todd Winty here with Path to Progress for May 14th, 2025. This one may be a little bit short. My morning has not exactly run the way that I anticipated. But I wanted to make sure that I got this out before the day got away from me like happened on Monday. And I am recording this intentionally for my daughter. As a follow-up to a conversation that we had on Monday. And you, the rest of the world, you are welcome to listen in. And it falls on the conversation or the last couple of videos where we've talked about when you're feeling overwhelmed, that that the things that tend to overwhelm us, or we feel like there are too many. We're overwhelmed by the possible outcomes, especially the negative possible outcomes. If we don't handle this moment right, we're overwhelmed by the number of challenges that we have to face in order to get things to go right. And we're overwhelmed by barriers that we see to us being able to take action that sets the stage for things going right. Sweetheart, I see you. I see you facing those kinds of things, because there's a lot going on right now. Big outcomes that sometimes it's hard to see positive ones. Huge challenges that some of which are new and some of which are really, really old, and barriers. We talked about how to maybe pick an outcome and have hope around that outcome. We've talked about challenges and just picking one that you can take action on. But what about barriers? Barriers are hard because if it wasn't a barrier, if it wasn't something that was stopping you from doing something, you'd take the action, right? I keep reminding myself when I'm looking at barriers are nothing more than challenges that I do not believe I can take out. I can eliminate. If it's a barrier, if there's something that I see that I can take some action and get rid of it, then it's a challenge, and we've already talked about that, right? But if it's a barrier, oh, good heavens. If it's a barrier, the only way to eliminate barriers is to ask for help. To ask for somebody else to look at that barrier, to evaluate its strengths and weaknesses. I remember there was a time I was climbing. I was doing some rock climbing. And a few years earlier, I had had a fall. I had been free climbing without ropes, and had hit a spot where I couldn't go forward. So I tried to go back, and as I went back, I tried to go back, my handhold that I actually had two really firm handholds. It turned out they were really firm handholds, but they were on the same rock, and that rock slid out, and I fell. Fell about 15 feet vertical, and then slid about another 30 feet through a talus field, and slammed into a tree. And sweetheart, you've heard the story before. The time that I'm thinking of, I was on a rock, and I could not see where to go. I was stuck. My arms were starting to shake. My legs were starting to shake. My heart was pounding so fast. And I yelled down, "I don't know where to go." And I don't remember for sure, but I think it was Bert. Said, "Todd, you're okay. Can you reach your right hand, about 6 inches up?" See, that's what people do for us when we call out for help on barriers. People who care about us, people who believe in us, they will look at the barrier and they will say, oh, this barrier, I can see that where you're positioned, you can't see how to get over this barrier, how to handle it. But if you'll do this, you can get over that barrier. When we're facing barriers, what we need to do is we need to call in our help. We need to call in our square squad, as Brene Brown would call it. And we need to say, I need help. So, and then when we've been provided the help, we have to be brave. We have to take the action that someone tells us to take. Even if we don't want to, even if we're scared by it, that's what I do. When I'm coming up against a barrier, I go to somebody and I say, I don't know how to get through this. And they tell me, do this. And I go, I can do that. And I go and I do it. I have the faith that that'll work, even if I'm looking at it, I'm like, I have tried that 8 times. And they're just like, try it this way. Barriers you can't handle on your own. You need help. You need to ask for it. You need to be brave enough. You need to be brave enough to ask for help. So that's what I do when I'm overwhelmed, sweetheart. I hope you'll be able to do it too. And for anybody who's been listening in, hope this has been useful. In the meantime, share this with as many people as you can, if you can. Yeah, we'll see where things go. In the meantime, this has been Path to Progress. My name is Todd Wente. Nulum Diem. I hope to see you in the future.